Greetings pimps. Today we have a short one briefly talking about the hilarity of NPC infighting. This is not directed at any particular ideology, although some I would consider much more emotion-based than others. However, statist or not, the heavy majority of people are unable to defend their ideology through purely logic in the context of debate. We all, of course, are aware that it is impossible to logically defend statism, as to defend such involuntary action requires appeals to emotion or authority. No such logical argument in favor of the state exists. That said, most arguments against the state are also founded in purely emotion or authority. This is why almost all debates or arguments of such topics are NPC infighting. They may pretend they are different from their opposition, but at the end of the day all they have are appeals to emotion or authority, just like the people they claim to not like or at least be arguing against. Most NPCs you come across are also so deluded that they truly believe their own appeals to emotion or authority are logic instead of emotion or authority. Most love to go on long diatribes while naming several examples of bad things they don't like and think that they just used logic instead of emotion and appeals to authority. Even if they are voluntarist or anarchist, they still stick to emotion-based arguments that tend to boil down to quote, "State do thing I think is bad, so state bad." Reminder that no matter how many people agree on something, that does not equal logic. This should not be a shocker to anyone, however. Since the majority of humans are statistically NPCs, it is obvious that most people of most if not all ideologies would be one. Yes, even voluntarism. Which is unfortunate but statistically unavoidable. Ask most people who are anti-state to give you one brief sentence that proves the state should not exist, and they will hit you with something along the lines of "because self-ownership is good and anything else is slavery," or they'll just list bad things the state causes. Now the first statement is of course correct, but most do not base it on the logic of UPB, which cannot logically be argued against in the context of debate. All attempts to do so instantly self-detonate, just as saying language has no meaning self-detonates in the context of debate. Anyone attempting to do so can be designated an NPC, since it is clear they cannot comprehend the language comparison and will go on with their non-argument appeals to emotion and authority to try and debunk it. That is simply an issue with a small category of people as a whole, though, as most people are statist. Overall, it is not that big of a deal in my opinion, but it would be nice if more people understood the situation. That said, NPCs are easier to convince with emotion and authority, so sticking with said anti-state non-arguments is actually the better move to convince people the state is evil. This video is simply a mental exercise to prove most people, even those who devoutly claim to be all about logic, fail miserably when it comes to logic. It's not their fault though. People cannot help being born an NPC, so you cannot blame them for being very emotion-based in their ideology. It's just their nature. So the next time you see some statists arguing or anarchists infighting, remind yourself that neither of them are using logic. So it is just what the title says. NPC infighting. Take a step back and laugh at them while you are at it. Anyways pimps. We out.